All right, everybody, we are getting ready. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hypnosis Hero, the only show that we know of that interviews world-renowned hypnotists from around the world and then asks them to lead us all in some awesome hypnosis. Tonight, we are incredibly thrilled to have on our next guest. When I talk about world-renowned, we're also talking about world-famous, talking about people that are amazing. And so I have to, unlike usual where I'm kind of unprepared, today I actually have this person's bio right in front of me, and I'm going to read it off my phone so I don't miss anything. Now, of course, if you're watching live, we do have a contest that you could win. And tonight, what we're giving away is something better than anything that we've ever offered before. Perhaps better than anything you could ever want. There it is. Jim Kellner's brand new book, Your Life Sucks. That's right. Your Life Sucks. If that's you, if your life sucks, you need this book. And here's how to fix it, because it will transform your life in a very funny way, I hope. It's an attention-getting title. So tonight, you're going to put in hashtag Hypnosis Hero. The winner of tonight's thing will get an autographed book right there. Your Life Sucks from this guy right here. And you know what? I might even be able to get up to see Brian at some point, the other host on here, and have him sign it also. But sadly, Sean is in Canada, so bummer. He won't be able to. But if you see him at the Performing Hypnosis Summit, he will sign it for you. So anyway, so that's the prize for tonight. I know you're all anxious to get that. I won't be able to send it to you until my author copies come. They should be here in the next week or two. And it officially goes live. The book is released September 1st. So you can pre-order it right now. We will be sharing links to that any moment. Without further ado, everyone, we're super excited. Combined skill, experience, and passion makes Nadine's award-winning comedy hypnosis show the perfect combination of funny, fascinating, and smart. For over 2 decades, you know what? I'm ahead of myself. I promised Sean that I was going to look at the schedule tonight, and Sean Kostiak, I know you're watching right now. I know you're in the basement right now watching. Next week, I'm going to have it printed. I'm going to follow the schedule. So, without further ado, our guest tonight is Nadine Manuel. But first up, we have, of course, your regular hero, Brian Bay. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the show.
New phone. Who dis? I heard you rolling right into the bio, and I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to go have a beer. It's
and I told Sean. I said, Sean,
it's Monday, man.
I did. Exactly. That's every show is Monday. That's why it happens. Sean, I specifically told Sean. I said, Sean, I'm going to look at the schedule this time that he painstakingly put together, and I still dropped the ball.
Sean, no good deed goes unpunished. Ask me how I know.
Hey, we got some people watching, Sean. How about some shout outs to these people?
We've got shout out to Tina.
Yeah.
Becca is joining us from the other side of the planet.
Jolly old England.
Eastern United Kingdom. And Ben Garcia.
Ben, good to see you, buddy.
Welcome. And okay. I see it says hello, Jim, and then all of a sudden it says Sean Brian. I was like, wait a minute. He's saying hello to all of us. So
all right.
We need to focus. We need to bring and Scott.
Scott King. Yeah, we got a lot of
definitely sign up for a class for one of his things. He's doing great work.
Drop your links, Scott. Hey, everybody, drop your links. We share the love here. If somebody finds somebody that they like, great. So obviously, Star Power has really got the people turning out tonight. We've already got a hashtag Hypnosis Hero. Tina wants a book. Who wants a book? Hashtag Hypnosis Hero is the way you're going to win a book tonight. And I do need to make it clear, if you're watching on Amazon by chance, you are disqualified from any kind of a raffle. You cannot win. It's against their terms of service. Not my rule. It's theirs. Okay. So, Brian, I assume you're doing great this week.
Yeah, let's go with that. I'm not saying we're dealing with difficult people, but we're dealing with difficult people, such as life.
Such is life.
Yeah, we're here now, man.
Good.
So
All right.
we've got an awesome guest tonight.
Really?
I'm really looking forward to it. And we need to, I think we need to bring on the brains behind the operation.
Definitely. I'm already here. What are you talking about? Oh, that brain.
Yes.
All right.
The metric side of the house.
The metric side of the house. You always have such a great way of phrasing things, Brian. So, coming to the show next, the guy who makes sure we run on time, or does his best to make sure we run on time, tries to keep a schedule, tries to keep running a tight ship. If you were at the Performing Hypnosis Summit online or in person, you know this guy. You relied on him. You love him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man who brings the maple syrup to the yard.
Maple syrup to the yard. Everybody give it up for Mr. Sean, the Captain Kostiak.
Yay!
There was a sound effect someone was supposed to hit.
That's the other side of Canada, man. That's Nadine's side of Canada. I'm over here.
Wait, hold on. Rewind. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who brings the poutine to the yard.
No, that's still the other side of Canada.
Good Lord. How many sides do you have?
Canada, right. This is all farmland.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like Labatt Blue. I'm running out of stuff here.
In the bin. I can put the harvest in the bin.
Harvest in the bin.
For all you single ladies out there, that's code.
Yeah, just wait. I've got other things to show them.
Wow.
Also code. It's a little more direct.
Fun and game.
Laura says she loves me.
Look at that. See?
Look at that. Well, who doesn't?
That's what happens when you have the right name and you're popular,
And Laura,
I keep telling everybody on TikTok that I was the stud that got invited to all the parties, and then when I wait for the laughter to die down, then I tell them, okay, you're right. I was the kid that read all the geeky books and everything, and that's how I got into hypnosis. So,
and Laura, if you come to Performing Hypnosis Summit in Las Vegas in January of next year, you can have all the Sean you want, all the Sean you can handle. Both hands. It's going to be.
Now? What am I, just the meat now? Like, come on.
See that lady? Sean wants you all to respect him for his mind. You see how dumb that sounds?
Well, I did work hard to develop it, and it does look like a bigger melon than most. So
you're talking about your mind, right?
It's literally the reason that we have Sean on the show, so he makes my head look small. That's why we have him on the show. That's the real reason.
Oh, and Laura is joining in on the fun. You're damn right. He will be going down for hours.
My goodness.
Interpret that how you want. It's a family show. I'm getting the message.
Wow, Sean, you've got quite a reputation there. Oh, well.
There you go.
We've got the captain. We've got the captain of the Captain fan club right there with Laura Wright.
Yep, it's all good. Oh, of course, somebody has to be laughing about it now. No, we're all serious here, Becca.
All serious stuff here. It's all serious stuff. Sean,
Sean, you and Becca are all part of the same monarchy, or however that stuff goes.
There is some lineage going back a ways, yes, but it's more Scottish than it is English.
So you literally hate the English, then? Is that what you're saying?
No, he filed a formal complaint.
They've done some good things. They've done some good things. They tried to take over the world. That's all.
And I'm not even sure which of you guys hate England. I figured it was all of you non-English people, Wales and everybody, but I don't know.
No, that's just Quebecois, tabarnak, the Quebec people.
Quebec.
They all.
Well, that's a whole different. That one requires a beer to explain.
Okay.
I think Nadine will have to translate that because I think she's from that French area of Canada, but I could be wrong because I don't know anything about Canada.
Scott, can you clarify? Do we need to see the captain dance on a dance floor or a pole? Inquiring minds have asked.
Sean, why don't you take a moment and do as you do, and kind of flaunt that brain with Sean, the captain's tech tip for this week.
All right, so I do have a tech tip. Let me set up the share. Share screen.
Brian a microphone.
Oh, he's going to show off by actually sharing the screen. Oh,
that's right.
Oh, it's going to work this time too.
Of course, it's going to work because it's me. All right, we have to set this up though because Jim made a post today, and he said having all these tabs open, that's a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. I mean, everybody to their own. I prefer to have something nice and neat. So in all of my browsers, I have a total of 6 tabs open.
Wow.
That's it. And I have 2 browsers going because I have 2 different things going. I have, of course, TikTok in the background here because for some reason it didn't connect properly. So I'll have to figure that one out.
Oh, no.
That's okay. We still have 4 viewers there. And if you're live on TikTok and you have questions, for the guests or for us, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I will do my best to keep eyes down there so that you can ask your questions. Here's the deal. All these tabs open, all these resources being used, it's absolutely terrible. I mean, as an IT guy, every tab that's open is drawing a resource from somewhere. So if you find your computer is really, really slow, this is one of those things you need to do, that and run your updates. But this is one of the things you need to do to actually free up some resources so your machine can run properly. Now, to that end, as the comments started going through, I actually shot back a GIF about OneNote being my second brain, to which Jim said I was just showing off. So now I'm going to show off. So here we go.
Ooh. Hear what Scott says?
This is the online version of OneNote. I put together a little demo section.
I'm liking this.
Yeah.
The dry run.
So you in OneNote, think of it like a digital notebook.
You're not allowed to say that.
Except you also hang on now. You also have to think about it as a filing cabinet. You have drawers, you have major sections, you have file folders, and then you have pages. Okay, and that's how you can organize everything. So there's my Enneagram for anybody who really cares. I'm a type 6 and type 1. Myers-Briggs, as if I wouldn't be the protagonist being the captain.
No judgments.
I threw some physical fitness stuff in here, and this is one thing that I do like, is when you start grabbing YouTube videos and links to YouTube videos, you can actually play them right in.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your...
So if you have some really cool exercises or something really cool that you want to watch, you can paste it in here. It'll grab the video link and embed it so that you don't have to do anything else. I'm going to skip the medications piece because I don't think I actually scrubbed that, but grab something from the internet. This is great. You can drop it in here. You can create the stop doing list. Everybody says there's things that you should stop doing. So I will stop doing the things I choose to quit. We'll get there, the bucket list. I'm going to plug the hole in the bucket. That's first on the bucket list.
What's it draining you, Sean?
Yeah. You can throw a daily journal in here. So, which one is it here? Must be this one.
It's a lot of great stuff.
Yeah. But, the really important part, recipes. I do have a recipe for clam chowder. I do have a great pancake recipe in case I ever have to cook pancakes for anybody who, happens to be here in the morning.
Ladies, take notes.
Right. And of course, the all-important, you got to have as many things to do with beef, pork, chicken, everything else. So as it loads up here, this is all still syncing because I just created this here, but you can organize this however you want. You can create as many lists as you want. So, if I was to do, say, let's go here. I'm just going to add a new page. Come on now. Probably struggling with all the video that's going on. All right, I'm going to go back here. Bucket list.
You must have too many tabs open.
There you go. All right, I'm going to start a new list. But I want in my new list, come on now. Is it going to let me? May not let me. You broke it, Jim. That's it.
Well, see what happens.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Well, here's the reason that I use OneNote and not Evernote, because Evernote is a really popular app, and it does cost you quite a bit, actually, comparatively. But OneNote is integrated in with Outlook. It's integrated in with the rest of the Microsoft suite, which is what I almost use exclusively, because I know that in 99% of the scenarios, it works. In fact, if I bring up my work notebook, you can see I've got, 15 or 20 different notebooks here that are all organized and all lists and all agendas. And, we've captured work in this and meeting notes and everything else. So it's quite useful. There are extensive things that you can use to organize yourself, including, not surprisingly, with all those tabs, you could, in theory, just copy those links into OneNote, so you don't have to keep the tab open anywhere. And then you just go to one page, go back to the tab that you want, and you're away to the races.
Okay.
Ladies, employed, organized, and he can cook.
And look at the size of that noggin. I mean,
there it is.
You know what they say about guys with a big noggin? Big brain. Big brain.
They wear big hats.
Big hats. Big hats. We got new people joining us. Grant Saunders, all the way from jolly old England.
See if I can do this right. I'm Grant Saunders.
Your British accent is terrible. You got to be more like this. Yeah, right.
I don't know. That's a little.
No, that was borderline Australian.
Well,
with a whiff of New Zealand.
Australian, you gotta get that extra twang in there.
They all look alike to me. They all look alike to me. So I don't see those things.
Susan's joining us.
Susan finally showing up for a show. Scott King says that the captain actually calls him when he has questions. So cut out the middle.
You have to have a good engineer, right, Mr. Scott?
Laura asks a question about ADHD and being hypnotized. We are going to hold off. We are going to let our guest hypnotist, our guest hero, answer that.
Clarification. She says, can I be hypnotized to not have ADHD?
Yes. And she says, OneNote will change your life. All right. We are going to, we got a lot of funny comments here.
Yeah. Scott, I'll send you the recipe.
And perfect hairstyle.
Sean, you're getting a more and more loyal fan base.
Ooh. We're gonna get some T-shirts with Sean's face on it for his fan club. You should see him in the captain's uniform. Sean, you need to call that up. You need to bring that up and get ready to share that soon. But we're gonna move on to our guest, who is just finishing off some maple syrup, I assume. We're gonna give her a
patiently waiting for
a nice
of our clownery,
for all the shenanigans that have been going on in this place. We try to keep a serious show here, usually Nadine, but these guys, what can you do? All right, here we go. So combined skill, experience, and passion makes Nadine's award-winning comedy hypnosis show the perfect combination of funny, fascinating, and smart. For over 2 decades, Nadine has been a student of the art and science of hypnosis, NLP, and body language. She's performed thousands of shows and seminars in over 30 countries. Her seminars combine humor, storytelling, fun, demonstrations, and live transformations. In 2006, this is pretty interesting, she was the first female to perform her comedy hypnosis show on cruise ships. That's crazy. She was also voted Hypnotist of the Year last year in the colleges, and she's the first female to win that award. She's also the chair of diversity and inclusion with the International Stage Hypnotist Association. And you can find her on all of the socials with her name, Nadine Manuel, Nadeen Manuel. Everyone, please give it up for the talented, the awesome Nadine Manuel.
Hey.
Welcome. Oh, and a puppy too. What is going on here? What's its name?
He has attachment issues. This is Clifford.
Oh, Clifford, how cute.
Clifford, the morale officer.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim, Sean, and Brian. What a great introduction. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. We were remiss. We did not include emotional support human to your resume.
Yes,
and we say that in good fun because I've got a needy little dog. Well, he's not small. He's big.
Yeah, it's like the most reciprocal relationship you could ever imagine.
That's a
right.
That is a great term, Brian. I love it. Write that down. That's a T-shirt right there.
Wait, what am I writing down?
Emotional support human, or
yeah. I think,
or however you phrased it. It was very funny. It'd be a great T-shirt. That's Brian's merch. That's your first,
right there.
Your first piece of the merch line. It doesn't have to be Haktua anymore. That's what we talk about.
For those that weren't watching 2 weeks ago.
Hey, Nadine, you know what? Let's jump. Can we jump right into questions since we have somebody asking? So, Laura, because you are our guest hypnosis hero, we're going to let you answer this one. What did she say again? Can hypnosis be used to make somebody not be ADHD anymore?
I mean, I have really severe ADHD. I'm a pretty classic case. And I think that you need to find ways of looking at it as a blessing. It is a curse, but it's also a blessing. It's how our brains work. I mean, according to epigenetics, we can change our, and in a lot of sciences, we can change our brain. I think for something like ADHD, it's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know the true answer to that because I've never seen a case of ADHD cured through hypnosis or anything else ever. So I don't.
And there's kind of a component of why would you want to? Because while, when I hear you say double-edged sword or it's a blessing and a curse, it's like a double-edged sword, which can cut both ways, which is more versatile and easier to be utilized.
Yeah, I agree completely. So in my experience, you can help people to be more focused. You can help them, kind of overcome some of the challenges, overcome some of the symptoms. But I don't know that you can actually change that completely, at least in my experience and my knowledge. But we've only gotten to a point in like the history of humankind where it's not a good thing to be ADHD, right? I mean, there were a lot of advantages back in the day, and the way we run things now, like when we put kids in schools and we say, hey, now we're going to study math for an hour, man, that's not the way that we lived for millennia.
So I was actually having a conversation with somebody the other night, and kind of on that note with what Laura was saying, where she's having trouble reading and retaining information. One, you got to figure out how to make it relevant, not necessarily interesting, but it's got to be relevant. And I use the example, high school math with all the geometry and algebra and everything else. It wasn't until I got into the military and we were doing long range shooting, and they were like, oh, you have to calculate, Coriolis effect and spin drift and bullet drop and all the other gravity and science and everything like that. And I was like, well, if we taught that, if I learned that stuff with an application, I'd probably be valedictorian of my school. And it's because it was interesting and relevant in how it was presented. And I'm going, okay, this is how I might apply it, rather than, just because someone says, oh, well, sometime later on in life, you're going to need to use it.
Right.
Yeah, and Laura, one of the things I found to be useful is when I really want to retain something, even if I'm reading a book, I will get up and pace. I have to move my body if I want to focus. So I might get on my little rebounder trampoline and jump for 15 minutes to get more blood into my brain, and then be able to sit and focus on something. Because we all know with ADHD, if it's not interested, if we are not genuinely interested in it, there's no way you can get us to focus on it.
But if it is interesting, like you get hyper focused,
right? So I find if it's something I have to do that I really don't want to do, I will go for a walk. I'll get on my rebounder, or I'll even hold whatever that material is in my hand as I'm physically moving my body.
So Nadine, I got to ask you about this more along the physical side of things. And Jim, you've seen me do it, or you've probably felt it. It's a family-friendly show. Stop. It's when I start talking to, we get in a conversation on a subject, or I start getting excited, the little tappy of my leg turns into both legs just flying around. And I'm like, that's my physical white noise. I don't even know I'm doing it.
And it feels so good just to do it.
Yes.
I've had people say to me, like, can't you stop? I'm like, yes, I can stop, but I like it.
And then you turn into Ace Ventura when he's talking to the detective and he's like, oh, now you pissed him off. It's insane. I don't know how else to explain it appropriately.
Hey, Laura,
lack the social skills there.
One thing else to think about with that is that I have found that the faster I read, the better it is. So, you don't necessarily have to do speed reading, but if you can just take a pencil or a pen or something, or your finger, and kind of trace down as you go, I found that helps me to pay more attention, because that information is just coming in faster. So I find that helpful. But I also listen to audiobooks on like 1.5 speed, because that helps keep me involved as well.
So, and there's 1,000,001 tech tools that I would recommend.
Of course. Can you choose one?
Yeah, OneNote.
OneNote.
Yes. So if you're doing research and things are starting to look really interesting, paste the content. It'll bring the website in as well, so that you can go back to it for further reference. And then you can actually just kind of change it so that the page will only display the text that you need, or the text that you want to read. And there's other extensions as well. Of course, reading things, you can use both Google and Microsoft will have screen readers that can read things. But yeah, you can change things so that a lot of the extra distractions on the screen are taken away, and it's just the text and maybe a picture that's left for you to read and focus on.
Nice.
And Scott's got Carol has some wonderful things to say that Nadine, you're amazing and a valued mentor to her. Scott wants to ask, can hypnosis be used to duplicate or recall the effects of drugs? Recreational or pharmaceutical, Scott? We need some clarification on that.
The short answer is yes. And I can elaborate.
Please do. I just read an interesting article about it. So yeah, please do.
Yeah, I mean, every drug that has ever been created, we have that chemical in our brain, whether it's the effects of heroin or whatever you want it to be. We have the ability to recreate that. There's a
spot. So the endorphins get released and everything, whatever the serotonin or
with every thought we have, a different chemical is released. So it's how deeply we can access that feeling, that thought, how well we can recreate that, whatever that is that person wants to be. I mean, it's the same as creating an orgasm in hypnosis, or any type of feeling. Whatever the drug is would be along the same lines as that.
Yeah, I just saw a video, a TikTok. I don't remember somebody actually sent it to me. And it was saying that, and this is just anecdotal story. It was told by, I think it was Danny Trujillo, who's that actor that's kind of, he looks rough. And apparently when he was in jail, when he was younger, He was in jail with Charles Manson before Charles Manson became Charles Manson. He was just a petty thief back then. And he tells stories about how Manson would actually hypnotize the other inmates to get the effect of the drugs, and they all liked him because of it. And so it kind of kept him, as from getting hurt, I guess, in jail. But the interesting thing was, though, is that he had like there were 3 in the cell with him. He had two of them had great effect, or the effect they wanted with when he induced them to think they had heroin. In fact, they even vomited, which I guess is one of the signs that when you do it. One of them did not, and so Manson afterwards asked him. He said, "Have you ever had heroin before?" And he said, "No." And he said, "Well, I can't duplicate something you've never experienced." So I thought that was interesting.
It's true. It's the same reason why in a stage hypnosis show, if you tell somebody to dance like Michael Jackson and they've never seen Michael Jackson, they're gonna have what you're talking about. You have to have a reference point, right? The brain needs reference points.
Yeah.
Great. So we've got some amazing questions. Becca, I think, was going back to this came in several minutes ago, and I think she's talking about kind of piggybacking off of Laura's question about can you be hypnotized to not have autism or dyslexia. And I'm imagining if someone were to ask me that, I would say that you could probably use hypnosis to manage different symptoms or your response. Like with autism, people may not like being touched or things like that.
Yeah.
And you can...
Yeah, there's a really good
I'm
book.
hoping that I'm interpreting... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Brian. I was going to say, there's a really good book called The Brain That Changes Itself by Norman, I forget his last name. But basically, in this book, it's all types of studies where people were in accidents or, had tumors in their brain. Basically, different areas of the brain had to be removed. And they learned that your brain will regrow and compensate for the areas that are, that have been removed. So areas for memory, areas, and it didn't matter what part of the brain either. The prefrontal cortex was one of the main areas, and the brain will always readjust itself. But you have to do the work. The principle, if you don't use it, you lose it, is true. Now the area for memory in all of our brains has shrunk by 3 times because of these funny things here. We don't remember phone numbers anymore, right? We can all remember our childhood phone number, but maybe not your best friend's new cell number, but you can remember their number when they were a kid. So our brain is consistently changing, and we can regrow the area for memory the same way we can redo other things. Somebody had brought up autism and dyslexic. I'm also dyslexic, and I have not seen any studies for that, which would be great if there were more studies. I mean, it's really, but I've worked with people in hospice who have Alzheimer's, and once you're able to relax their nervous system, it's really incredible what comes back, and how much longer it can come back for. So these are all really great questions, but
it sounds a lot like with the Alzheimer's.
Sorry?
Oh, it sounds like with the Alzheimer's, it's like once you kind of just tune out that static noise from your brain and get them relaxed, it's like, okay, brain can function normal. And you were talking about how it could regenerate or regrow, and Sean's sitting there, I can see all the wheels and stuff turning. He's like, all right, we're repartitioning the hard drive and other tech things. But
yeah, I mean, this is the greatest computer that ever existed, and we have the ability to update our software. And that essentially, with a good hypnotist, can update your mental software very quickly.
Very cool.
And then,
very cool. Stress is the devil. It really is. It's the root of all evil. So if all you do in hypnosis is help somebody with the stress part, they're going to make progress anyway. So one of the problem with all these things, the autism, the dyslexia, the more stressed you get about it, the more difficult it is. And so then the more difficult it is, the more stressed you get. And it's this vicious circle. So, I can definitely see where hypnosis can make a could make a huge difference. I also, when I was doing street hypnosis one time, I had somebody come up and she asked for her son. She said, "So can somebody with autism be hypnotized?" And I was like, "Let's give it a try." He was a great subject, a really great subject.
I would almost think they would be, aside from if they're not adverse to being, physical contact, or at least they understand why you're doing it. I think autistic people would almost be amazing, because if you tell them exactly what to do, they'll do it.
They're very literal people, right? Which is when you act as subconscious, you become very literal. That's how we know people are deep. One of the ways is when they become literal. I've worked with a ton of autistic people, and in that respect, they're very much the same as everybody else.
I mean, men are autistic. They're sitting there watching the game, and it's the Stanley Cup, and the wife comes in and goes, "What are you thinking about?"
We just have a nothing box. And all
I was going to say,
in our brains don't touch all the other boxes. But when we say we're thinking about nothing, we are actually thinking about nothing. There's an actual box for it.
But no, we have just had the ability to be like, power down.
Yeah. And I think Ben asked why I'm a hypnotist, and the reason is it helped me cure a really, really severe lifelong depression that I had. And so this might be inspiring to, people who want to work on specific things that are told this is neurological, you're like this, because I had therapists tell me, like, this is who you are, just accept it. Medication doesn't work for you. Like, this is, so I sent home. I thought I had come out of my mother's womb depressed, and I was destined to die that way. After my first hypnosis session, I'd opened my eyes, and that lifelong depression had completely lifted off of me. And when you unlock what you genuinely believed was impossible, how do you not go out and help other people? So that's the reason why I'm alive today, and it's the reason why I will never retire and always, be working with people in one way or another. But that's why I'm a hypnotist. Thank you for asking, Ben.
Laura's got another great question. Laura's asking, how do you break the glass ceiling, so to speak? And how did you get into basically getting on a cruise ship, and what obstacles did you encounter? And I imagine the implied question is, how did you handle those obstacles?
And let me just jump in here real quick before you answer, Nadine, because I just want to make sure everybody's clear. Like, she was a bona fide actual, like, hypnotherapist, doing helpful hypnosis for years before she ever even went into this.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. I was 22, and I didn't step foot on a cruise ship until I was 26. And at the time, I was the youngest, not only the first female, but also the youngest guest entertainer in the industry at the time. And it was right before the industry had really exploded as well. So, it was a really neat time to get in, and which opened the door, for my female counterparts in the industry as well. And Laura, the answer is, girl, manifestation. You don't be afraid to vividly imagine what you want, and don't be audacious and put it out into the universe. And I promise you can make anything happen. My third show ever was on a cruise ship in front of 1,200 people.
Wow.
So the third time in my life I'd ever got up on stage. So I manifested it. If you guys want to hear the story.
We do. Yes.
Wait. That might be the answer to Becca's question. What's been your favorite memory, or like the highlight of hypnotizing somebody or in your career, aside from appearing on our show?
Oh, okay. Well, far second to that. Would be, there's so many. There's so many. I've had, people with, people let go of their pains. People who have, 50-year back pain, being able to let go of it. People with phantom pain. People with, again, like a lifelong depression, who are on the verge of suicide. It's really, I don't even know. There are just so many stories, so many miracles, and I do believe in miracles. And when you become really passionate about helping somebody, every single cell in your body starts to believe the shit that's coming out of your mouth. And guess what? So does every cell in their body, because they just can't help it. So I think that it's just approaching your clients with love, with confidence, loving every single one of them, and they're going to receive it, whether they believe it or not. They can't not receive it, and that's what I say when I pitch my programs. Like, you could be hypnotized or not, doesn't matter. Just play this. It's going to have an effect on you, whether you want to or not. I mean, guys, do you really think Palmolive or Tide or Nike was you or your kid's idea? Like, as long as in the background, it's going to work.
Then commercialism has proven that over and over and over again. I mean, how many McDonald's jingles could you recite from memory? Mm-hmm. Right? Or how many of you know that Ivory soap is 99 and 44 100% pure? Kind of like me, but I digress.
So even become aware of even what you have in your home. If there's a prayer or a poem that's meaningful to you, frame it, put it up on the wall. It's your mind and your body, your spirit will become receptive to it, and just start to become aware of those things, the things you have around you in your life. I mean, it could even be, it doesn't matter. Just things that will make you feel good. So that way you can get these natural dopamine rushes and highs without scrolling on social media. So that way your brain can stay healthy or get healthier.
Hey, everybody, I just want to remind you the prize tonight, when you put in #HypnosisHero, you can win a copy of my book, not even released yet. I have author copies coming in the mail soon. You'll get an autographed copy. #HypnosisHero. It'll be worth billions one day. Not in US dollars, but in some dollars somewhere. Nadine, do you have a specific practice that you do as far as manifestation goes? You talked about a few different things.
I mean, do you guys want me to share how I got on cruise ships?
Damn right.
Brent
knows.
Yeah, send it.
Okay, so my ass was broke, and I was running a hypnotherapy clinic, working like 10 hours a day. And I had a friend of mine reach out to me and ask if I wanted to go to Mexico, to Zihuatanejo, Mexico. And I'm like, I can't, no. And he goes, you know what, Nadine, you're cool. We're all gonna send you there. And I'm thinking, there's no way. My mother raised me not even to borrow a sweater. There's no, I'm not doing this. And they're like, nope. They sent me the ticket. So I thought, okay. So I'm in beautiful Zihuatanejo, surrounded by beautiful people. It's the Los Angeles side of Mexico. And all of us, we're out sailing, and all of a sudden I see these massive cruise ships. I'd never seen a cruise ship in my life, ever. So I thought, I pulled out my camera and
big up close.
And they're like, Nadine, what are you doing? And I said, I don't know, but I just felt compelled to take pictures of these ships. So I get back home, and I can only afford to develop two photos. One was of the friends, and the other one was a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And I had just gone to an NGH conference and met this guy who did ships, and we became friends. And as I'm staring at this photograph, he calls me and he goes, Nadine, you lucky, powerful bitch. And I was like, whoa, why are you swearing at me? He said, because I have been trying to get on the Norwegian Star for 7 years. How the hell did you do it? And I said, what? He goes, congratulations, Nadine. You're now the new guest entertainer for Norwegian Cruise Lines. He goes, how did you do it? What's going on? Well, I looked a little bit closer at that picture I developed.
Yeah.
And it said, you never took a picture of it. And just 3 months later, I was back in Zihuatanejo, Mexico. Out of the thousands of ports and hundreds of ships, I was back on the exact same cruise ship I'd taken a picture of, but this time I was looking from the inside out instead of the outside in. And so it was completely manifested. And here's the thing, at that point, I'd only done one show in my life. So he's like, I need footage. I was like, all right, I got this. I got this. So I printed tickets, hit the street, got an opening act, got a theater, sold tickets, gave away tickets, got 300 people there within a week and a half, put on a show, sent the footage, and that was enough to impress the bookers to get me on the ship. So show number 3 was on the exact same ship I'd taken a picture of months before.
Dude, that is crazy. But you know what also shows is
how did they get your name from?
Well, there's a lot to maybe Jim, I'll write a book too.
Okay.
And so this guy, put it this way, and some of you guys, if you guys know a little bit of history, but I'm not going to say it on a public forum. The day he got fired was the day he decided to become an agent, and I was the first person he called. Oh. Because he met me, he thought I was cool. I was like, that's cool that you do that. I went home after the NGH conference and said, Mom, I was 25 years old, and at the time I said, Mom, when I'm 26, I'm going to be a hypnotist, a headliner for cruise ships. And she goes, Nadine, you are crazy. And here we are. And so I put it out to the universe. I took a picture of it. I stared at it, and somehow I was able to draw it to me. And I have some others, like quite a few other stories like that in my life as well. It's very much like The Secret. So that's what I mean. Don't be afraid to make a vision board. Like, be a little bit cheesy and have fun with it. And I promise you can attract these things, but you must believe it with certainty.
Yeah. You know what I think is interesting though too is so you did manifest it, but you worked your butt off. It wasn't just you just sat and meditated on this vision board. You got the opportunity, but then you had to work, and you'd already done some work to get there, and then you had to work to sell those tickets to make that video. So I know a lot of people think this law of attraction thing is you just think about something and it magically appears. So I really love that example you tell.
Yeah, and I think you can't be afraid to be a little bit bold, to be a little bit outspoken. I had a really great support system around me. I wasn't afraid to go out and talk to people, even though I am secretly a big introvert. So I think that it's knowing what you want and not being afraid to go after it. And it's okay for people not to believe in you. That's okay. I mean, look at, we're all in this really strange, obscure profession. And if you had told your family, 20, 30 years ago, this is what you wanted to do, they all would have said like, what? Why? So, we all got here in one way or another. So you all deserve a pat on the back.
So if I'm understanding then, Nadine, so you met this guy and you don't want to say his name. Is that right? You don't want to say his name. Okay. So you met this guy at an NGH conference. That's the National Guild of Hypnotists. They have they just had their conference this last weekend, right? And so you met this guy. He's a stage hypnotist. You guys chat. You come home, and all of a sudden, now, had he shared your name with these folks? Is that how you got it, or you'd submit somewhere? How did they know about it?
No, so he was being a creep at the conference. Yeah. Oh, okay. And yeah, like not a good person at all.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is why he got fired. And so, but I'm like 20 something, pretty innocent, like didn't grow up in a big city or anything like that. And like he befriended me. And again, like when he got fired, he had this idea, I'm going to become an agent. And I told him I had done a show before, and in his mind, he thought, you know what, this girl would be great. And what's interesting though is that after I met him, a month or two later, I had seen that cruise ship and started taking pictures of it and just intensely staring at it all the time.
Right.
And then and once I had this photo in my possession, he called me 2 weeks later and was like, how the fuck did you do this? Like, what's going on here?
Huh. I'm still not understanding the connection there. So he is the one that submitted your name, or?
Yes, and became my agent.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Because he had a good relationship with the booker.
That's amazing. Good job. Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So Nadine, Laura's got a question. She's asking if your shows are family friendly, and if they're not, do you feel judged? Do you feel like you're judged differently than guys are for those types?
So my shows are pretty family friendly now.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be able to get away with some crazy stuff on stage that in 2024, I don't think we can get away with anymore because, you know, the world has gotten PC. I don't know, but the world has changed. So yeah, I used to do a ton of adult material. And in 2018, I decided to go clean, and it's been the best thing I've ever done. I get so much more work. I think that, you know, there's no cheap laughs. You know, a comedian will say the F-bomb and people will laugh because the F word is funny for some reason. But now, you know, I think that I think going clean is the best thing. But no, I never felt judged by my male counterparts. I only felt judged by judgmental people.
I guess the question is probably more geared to, do you feel that if a man did the same material that you did, that was more of adult themed, if the guy would be viewed differently than you are? Like, oh, he did it, so he's a creepy guy preying on people, but hey, Nadine did it, cute younger lady.
So like, I think as a female, there are certain things we can get away with more and certain things not so much. For example, a famous routine is, you know, the male hypnotist saying, you know, everybody on stage, you know, when I lock eyes with you, you fall in love with me. So he dances with a few women, then he dances with a guy, whispers to the guy as they're facing the audience to grab my ass, right? We've all heard of that one. It's pretty popular. Terry Stokes is, you know, probably one of the most famous people for doing it. So he's slow dancing with the guy. As soon as, you know, they're back, hypnotist's back is toward the audience. He tells the guy, grab my ass, off mic. Guy grabs his ass, huge response. A woman could never do that. Right? It's not.
Wouldn't be shocking. Wouldn't be funny because it's expected.
We're gonna say, yeah, like this guy is assaulting her, right? It's not the same. So yeah, like there are things that I could get away with for sure more than the guys, and there are certain things that just wouldn't work for a woman. And
Terry Stokes would be doing that bit in a Superman outfit.
Yeah. And so I think that, you know, you just have to figure out what works best for you and for your personality. But I'm not really into the adult material anymore. Yeah.
I would also almost assume that your delivery and kind of the setup of everything has to do with it too.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I ask the audience, like, even now, even though my shows are a lot more cleaned up, I'll say, like, are you guys ready to push the envelope? And I will gauge the audience, and that will tell me how far I can push it. So you are not just reading the people on stage, but you must read your audience because, like, know who, you know, because the people on stage feed off the audience's energy. And it is that collective energy is so much more powerful than we could ever imagine. You know, what the audience is experiencing completely has a lot to do with the depth of the people on stage's trance and how they stay in trance and how they feel, and energetically, everybody feels everything.
So it kind of sounds like a little bit of like the peer pressure aspect where you're utilizing the crowd or the audience basically gives the people on stage permission to push that envelope, be silly, be completely off the walls, because it's okay. You're not going to be offending or upsetting somebody.
Yeah.
And you're just the conductor of that orchestra. Yeah.
And it's our job as a hypnotist, you know, the more applause you hear, the deeper you go, the better you feel, right? To create that neural connection throughout the show, and to, you know, to say, let's give them our appreciation. Let's show them our appreciation. And the audience goes wild. So just to find different ways of, you know, compounding those suggestions. And the best way to do it is with, you know, admiration and applause from your audience or the volunteers.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Nice. Nice. Now, you are, you know, so you're heavily involved in of course, diversity, being a female and being diverse. What kind of challenges do you see for folks that are in that community, and what are you and the ISHA doing to help kind of overcome those challenges?
I think that you just really, really have to lead by example. To do everything you can to maintain your integrity and dignity when you feel hurt or attacked, and to know that those things don't define you. What really defines you is your relationships, how you treat people, and not the things other people think or say about you. Especially most of the time it comes from people that don't even know you. And so to really lead by example. And for sure, I mean, I've had some tough lessons where I let my emotions get the best of me. But I think with age, a little bit of age, comes wisdom, and just learning, just trying to be that a little bit wiser, and learning from your reactions, and you know, how to master your emotions. Like the person who can master a room is the one who's mastered their emotions. So don't let it define you, and just be the best version of you so you can lead by example. So that way somebody can know, oh yeah, I know somebody who's gay, they're pretty cool. Oh yeah, I know an Arab. Oh, okay, yeah, they're pretty cool too. And then that way these things don't define you. Your character defines you.
And Grant's got some nice comments here. He definitely says that you're a role model to many of the female stage hypnotists, and he wanted to know who your role models are, if you are willing to share that.
Yeah.
Besides Grant.
Oh, okay. Shucks. Okay.
Grant's an awesome dude.
Yeah. Oh gosh, who are my role models? I mean, I never had, like, you know, the guys have so many role models. Are you talking about like in stage hypnosis, especially? Like, you guys have so many cool people. We have Pat Collins, and it's like so hard to get footage of her. So for sure, Pat Collins, a hypnotist, but getting footage of her is mission impossible. And therapeutically, Gerald Kind, you know, obviously Milton Erickson, this really great book, My Voice Will Go With You. That book really influenced me. Get into Ericksonian hypnosis. It is so powerful, and learn how to put people in trance through waking hypnosis, conversation. Because if you want to do stage hypnosis, that will really lend its hand to it. My mom, my grandma, my grandfather, Clifford, he's my first pet. He taught me a different kind of love, which I've never really understood before. So, you know, I think we can draw our role models from so many places, but you know, my grandma's a really big one.
Nice. So what kind of, you know, we have a lot of hypnotists that are watching. We also have some that, you know, maybe they're doing stage, or they're doing, you know, a hypnotherapy right now. They want to do stage, or vice versa. I mean, I understand the manifestation part, but are there some kind of general action steps that somebody could take as early as today to start opening up that career in hypnosis, whether it's stage, hypnotherapy, whatever? What would you recommend?
I mean, anything Ormond McGill has written on stage hypnosis is really good.
Okay.
YouTube is an excellent resource.
Yeah.
Jim's training is pretty awesome. I highly recommend. So, you know, see what Jim is about, because in terms of integrity and what you're going to get, the first class all the way around.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would say join. We're still a baby association, the International Stage Hypnosis Association. Our our intention and our mission is very strong. But again, we're just a year in, and we're learning every day, and we're becoming better for you every day. I think we have really good people, and people is what makes me. So I think joining our association, or at least looking into it, might be a good place to start because of our learning archive. But yeah, like in 2024, YouTube is a really great resource, and I hate saying that. It like pains me to say that, but YouTube is a good resource.
Yeah, it's a great place to start. You can kind of find out what you like, what you don't like, and get some ideas. I think there's a lot of I remember way back when I first got started. Even I watched Richard Nongard videos, and they were so helpful. I think he has one on just hypnotherapy, just like kind of a hypnosis 101. And so I think there's a lot of great content out there on YouTube. Good point.
Yeah, Richard Nongard's like really early stuff is really good. I remember like getting my hands on some of his it wasn't VHS, it was like just DVD,
DVD.
Yeah, DVDs. Because I have Jerry Valley's VHS.
Oh,
yeah, of his trainings. I still have his VHSs. Yeah, Richard, really good stuff. One of the things he says, on stage, like dress special, not like so far above your audience, but dress special. And he elaborates on that in his video. So just even little like nuggets here and there from different people are good. And if you find somebody that really resonates with you, it's stick with, especially us ADHD people, keep that going.
Yeah. Go ahead. What do we got there?
Ben was asking if you will ever do a show in the western part of the U.S., like Phoenix, where the warmth is. He has it on good authority that there's a good group of people that'll come out and.
Yeah, I just did a show for like 600 people at a community center there, but it wasn't open to the public, unfortunately. So I do get to a lot of the Western states. I think that it's just now working on getting into the performance art centers, which is very difficult because that's a lot of celebrity and casinos and stuff like that. And I did a show. Oh no, it was Palm Springs, a little further in the casino there not too long ago as well. So I think that Ben, it will happen one day, my friend. We will meet, and hopefully I'll be on stage that night.
Yeah, one of the problems with the public shows, unless you're in a performing arts center or a casino or something, they just don't pay very well. You can make so much. You make so much more doing a cruise ship or a private event, things like that. I mean, it's hard to it's kind of hard to justify the time for that, I think, at least in my experience.
Yeah, I mean, flights, hotel, car rental, it all adds up. It's got to be, unless you're like new in training, it's got to be worth your time. Also, too, I don't book anything on my own. I have not booked a show for myself in probably 15 years. So, nice. So get a good agent that you trust. I also don't have a manager. These are all just agents. But now I'm starting to think about possible having a manager, because that's a game changer. It's not easy to find, but it's a game changer.
And so those are all fees too. So it's not like you can just go and go do some local bar down the street, and make a few $100. There's a lot of fees that are going into that kind of a thing. Having somebody like Nadine, but the good part is that it's kind of like, the way I look at it is, as you move up, you get better and better gigs, and then that makes room for the people that are coming up so that they can still do those gigs. Which, I mean, look, when you're first starting out and you can get a few $100 for a show, and you're not having to go to some crappy job, that's amazing.
Yeah, do it for free. I mean, my first show, I used to work at a place called Future Shop, which is basically,
oh my God,
Best Buy, but but on commission.
Wow, I used to go there. I used to shop there.
I was in home theater. I used to sell.
Wow.
I sell big screen TVs before plasmas were even a thing. Our first plasma was 42 inches. It was $12,000, and we just stare at it because we saw it was like, yeah. And it doesn't exist anymore. Of course, big American Best Buy came and bought us out, a little Canadian company. But I went back and I said, hey, can I do a show for the Christmas party? And I did a show. It was free. And it went great because these are all people I had been working with for years. And so I had all the love and support from my work colleagues. And it was kind of a fun atmosphere to work in anyway. And it went over really great. That's not the show I used for the footage for the cruise ship. That was a different show. That was my first show. But I did it for free. And I went back to my old place of work. So it's good to, when you're first starting out, to if you can get a big enough audience, just get up and do it. Like, yeah, and don't even think about the money. Just have fun and go and do it.
And that's a great tip too, because we've had people on the show and they're very vehement about you got to charge a lot for that first show, and I get where they're coming from psychologically, but like we talked about, I think we even talked about this at lunch, in Vegas. If I go buy something at the Dollar Tree and it sucks, I'm not going to go give a bad review to the Dollar Tree because my expectations are pretty low. But if I pay a bunch of money for something, I'm down at like Nordstrom's or something and it doesn't work, I'm going to be mad. So if you're going in saying, hey, look, this is my first show, I've only done a couple of shows or something, I'm only going to charge you, an honorarium or $100 or even free. Their expectations are low, and they're going to give you a pat on the back and go, hey, you did great. As opposed to you go in there and charge them a couple $1,000s, they're going to go, wow, dude, you sucked. So.
And like, why are you even thinking about money on your first show?
Yeah.
Like, right. Who are you?
Yeah.
Seriously though, like, why are you thinking about that? Like, just go out, have fun, do the best you can and learn. Like, think of it as like an apprenticeship or something like that, as just a part of your continuing education, and go out and have fun. And maybe the footage you get from it will be worth more than anything they could pay you, because that footage might get you future work.
Absolutely.
I mean, most places, Jim, you and I have been out and we do shows, and even though, it's the entertainment is paid, they're 9 times out of 10, they're like, hey, what food can you order? Do you need drinks or anything beforehand? And, they take care of you. So even just on the hospitality side, for a restaurant owner to write off a couple of burgers and a beer or two or a cocktail is nothing for them.
Yeah, have a rider.
Yeah.
Fee zero, rider specific.
Yes. Meals are included.
and then, so somebody with the YouTube name Man Baby. I'm not sure if that's Scott King in disguise with his alter ego account, but no, I'm kidding. He says, love the content. How can you determine if you are someone who can be easily hypnotized? And then to follow up, how do you know who would be the best hypnosis subject?
Take Jim's course.
Yes, take Jim's course.
Good answer.
Everybody can be hypnotized. If you found your way from wherever the hell you were before to this place, you can be hypnotized. Easily. On a cruise ship during my seminars, they're like, who can be hypnotized? Well, if you found your way from the cabin to this theater, you can be hypnotized. Like, you can follow directions. Just, do you desire it? How much do you desire it? Okay, let's if there's other things involved, like skill set, stuff like that. But yeah, Man Baby, you already are hypnotized.
That's always my question.
That's how you got the name Man Baby. So you're great.
So
it's such a common misconception out there that there are people that can't be hypnotized. As hypnotists, we run into this all the time. And like you said, everyone can be hypnotized. I mean, if you have a brain injury or something, I've worked with a couple of people with brain injuries. They were a little bit challenging because they couldn't process information. But if you're just your average person, there's no reason to believe that you you did fine, Brian. If you're just a person, yeah, you can definitely be hypnotized. Now, you might want to explain a little bit about, Nadine, about how we choose, the people that are going to be on stage. Maybe they get hypnotized a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. Maybe they're a little bit different. Do you want to chat about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many factors. Compliance would be the first one.
Yeah.
Put your feet flat on the ground. Anybody who doesn't put their feet flat on the ground, they're a problem.
Right.
Like if you're speaking correctly and you're using direct language,
yeah.
I don't say uncross your legs, because that is not direct language. I say place your feet flat on the ground. That's direct. That's more direct. So you study their breathing pattern, how well they're breathing with you. Breathing is huge. You look at, if they're, hypnotic mask, is coming up, if just whatever you're doing, it's primarily compliance, and you're going to get that by being able to build rapport with people, and the right type of rapport with people. You have to know who to be a little bit more authoritative with, who to be a little gentler with. Kindness is always the number one thing. You always want to be exceptionally kind to and gracious to every single person who's volunteered. But you also want to study compliance. And the audience is smart. The audience knows what's up. They can see what you see, and they can see what you see. So do not take that for granted. Don't underestimate it. And I even say that in my show. Like, I know you can see what I see, and you can express to the audience that everybody has a different level of trance. And then, that's a good opportunity to educate, between conscious, subconscious, conscious movement, subconscious movement, and different things like that. So there, statistically, there's always going to be some people that are really deep. If you're a well-trained hypnotist with a lot of experience, you're going to get a higher percentage of people who are deep. But I think that what you want to do is you just really want to respect your audience and respect your volunteers, and it's okay to point out the obvious and have fun with them. But to answer your question, compliance.
Would you say also don't overthink it too much either?
Yes, but then after the show, you're overthinking it and you're driving yourself nuts.
Yeah.
Why did that work? Yeah.
Why didn't I do this right? Why didn't?
Yeah. Like, if I'm not like just super into them in that moment, then after the show, I beat myself up a lot. Yeah, and again, like there are times in the show where other things are happening where you can like manage your people and bring them deeper and stuff.
And it's also, you can kind of just look at them and go, all right, this person is a million miles away. They are gonzo. They're going to be great. So Ben was following up from earlier. If he finds a venue, will you come down? I'm thinking you answered that earlier. If it's worth your time and the money's right.
Ben, I don't know if you can afford me.
Yeah. Talk to her agent.
Yeah. Let your people talk to my people. No, I'm
right.
just kidding.
Exactly.
Yeah, like if it was the right venue, I would come. I would rather, instead of you doing all the work, just, get lucky and hopefully be in your area again or something like that. I kind of regret not inviting you and Monet to that show. I think I could have probably got you guys in the door because it was a great show. That show went on for 2 hours.
Wow, that's always fun.
Yeah, Sun City.
Yeah. Nice.
And then I think this is a great question from Michael. How has your show transformed since your first show?
Oh my gosh!
Obviously, you're updating current events and incorporating that to keep relevant.
Yeah, like my induction. I don't use the same induction. I think that there's a formula, and the formula is very important. 1 + 1 will always be 2. Mm-hmm. And it's important not to take that formula for granted, because I've played around with it. I've put mentalism in my shows, during my induction to spice it up. And it worked and it was great, but I pulled that out because I don't want to be. I really approach it in a scientific way, so I didn't want to be too. I didn't want to cross those wires. It was a personal decision I made. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a complete. I'm different, and it took me probably 12 years to hit my stride. Probably 12 years to really figure out who I am on stage, and Actually, oh, okay. I know who this person might be a little bit controversial, but I know who I modeled after. Oprah. From when I was in elementary school, I used to go home and watch the Oprah Winfrey tour, and I remember when she had a show, and I remember when she had Tina Turner on there, and the movie What's Love Got to Do with It had come out, and Oprah would give a platform to people that were all kinds of people before she started to get really famous people on her show. Just I'm talking about early Oprah, like early 90s Oprah. And that, it changed my life. And I remember having the thought about 10 years into my career, I want to be like Oprah. What does that mean? What it means is we can all recognize her voice. Every single person here knows what her voice sounds like. So if we heard her, we know what it sounds like. And every single person who ever watched the Oprah Winfrey show feels like they genuinely know her. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that every time that when I got up on stage, within a few minutes, people felt like they knew me personally. Like, oh yeah, I know her. I could be her friend. I could have a conversation with her. And by the end of the show, people not only felt like they know me, but they genuinely feel connected to me. And so I think for being on stage, maybe that's what I resonated with. Just like, I hope every single person here feels like they know me, they know my personality, they know my character in one way or another, because that's the goal and that's the intention on stage, to be that personable, like Oprah, whatever you think of her now, but in the 90s. Appreciate you too, Ben.
So Becca's over in the Eastern England, UK area, and they're having some weather. So she's asking if you can hypnotize her to be cold or at least more comfortable, because she says it is hot as you can imagine in her room tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Like right now?
I'd say we'll probably get to that. I've just checked in with Jim. He made his brief Irish goodbye.
Jim is having technical difficulties. I think he froze up. So he's just the opposite of Becca right now. He's frozen. So he'll be back. That's why we have two hosts that control the flow of things. There's usually not the same type of power outage or technical.
Right, watch this.
On both sides of the board.
Oh, thank God, Jim's back. I was tired of carrying the show.
You always carry the show, Brian. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have had our show canceled a couple times ago.
Yeah, the fines from the FTC.
You still need to update that. What did I miss?
Everything.
Damn it.
Becca's hot as F over in the UK because it's warm, especially in her bedroom. We reminded her that it's a family show. As she says, she's literally melting.
Oh, poor thing.
Because as soon as I said I was reading that, it was like, oh, Becca's hot in her bedroom, and it was like, oh, Jim's frozen. He went off camera. Irish goodbye.
Just trying to help, Brian. Just trying to help.
Oh yeah.
Nadine, what have we not asked you that you'd like to share before we head into the spotlight and hypnosis?
I don't know. I think that if I had any message, it would be that as a collective, let's all keep our profession as respected. Let's do everything we can for our profession to become every day more respected, more mainstream, for people to understand the therapeutic applications of what we do, to use the stage as a platform for the therapy, to not be afraid to be your most authentic self on stage, to be vulnerable and have fun. Your audience and your volunteers, they're only going to have as much fun and enthusiasm as you do. So just like go out and don't be afraid to just go out and do you.
You guys, it's so worth it. You know what? Go do the work. Do the manifesting. Do the work. I got to tell you, man. When you're whatever your dream is, when you're actually getting up in the morning and you're doing your dream, you can't wait to get started. You know, I mean, it's an amazing feeling. I really just, please get out there and do that. Do you have a favorite suggestion or most popular suggestion to perform at stage shows, Nadine?
No. I just really like to always be surprised, to try to be surprised. And I try to not make my suggestions overly specific, so that way the person's imagination can be more activated. So I sometimes leave a little bit to the person's imagination, so that way I can be a little bit surprised on stage, because I get bored. So that way I'm not bored. Yeah. So I don't know if it's like any specific suggestion that I love, but I love for people to see people's wheels, turn and spin. So that way they really are the stars of the show.
Now, do you
sometimes they do some crazy stuff. Go ahead, Brian.
Nadine, do you ever kind of purposely steer, either your suggestions or present them in a way where it could be interpreted one way or another, and you're just kind of like, all right, they're either going to kind of go straight and narrow, or they're just going to fall right off the rails, and this is going to be hilarious?
Not in the way traditional stage hypnotists do it, because a lot of stage hypnotists segue their routines differently. A lot of them will segue into from cold, hot, and now it's hot, and you're on a beach, and now you're, on a roller coaster, or I don't segue that way. So I will steer it, but I'll be more poignant about how I steer it. So I will pick certain people to do certain things, because comedy is contrast. So rather than steer directions, I just try to create as much contrast as I can within personalities or prototypes. I think people find.
And you don't have a favorite bit that you like that just seems to go over amazingly with the crowd? Jim's got one that it's hilarious. It has never disappointed anytime we've done it.
Is it the one I don't do anymore, except for dirty shows?
It's up to you if you want to. It's that one, yeah.
Well, missing body part. Obviously, it's for a man, so it's the yeah. So missing body part's always fun. John, do you have a favorite that you like to do? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, being a teacher, the grade 3 classroom is always an awesome. Last time I did the grade 3 classroom, I forgot to suggest that they, don't actually start throwing stuff around, especially at the teacher. And I'm sure it was a pen or a pencil just come whizzing by my ear. The Maxwell Smart missed it by that much.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, Brian, what's that?
Oh, I'll throw something out there. I really love my laugh police routine, because I get the audience to pick out the swear words. And so, like, sometimes just certain demographics, like certain things will be hilarious. They pick it out, and just whatever comes out of this person's mouth is hilarious. And also, too, it's like one of my signature routines. So I'm able to count how many shows I've done based on how many police hats I have left, and then I get to autograph it and give it away at the end. So maybe that one. And then about the regret, I kind of regret doing orgasms, because I've had people make messes in their pants, and then they're not embarrassed during, but they're really embarrassed after, because everybody can see the mess. So I would say I don't do orgasms anymore, and that would be maybe the one regret, because they got after that. Yeah.
That's crazy how that can cause an actual physiological effect. So interesting. And speaking of that, Albert Nuremberg is doing some research on that. He's a stage hypnotist. Go check out his TEDx talk. It's a really great one. But he's doing some work on that. Brian, would you say that's your favorite one as well? The missing body part? That's your favorite one to do as well?
I'm gonna answer this with context. It's my favorite bit that you do as far as the show goes. Why it is my favorite bit is because the questions that you get to ask that elicit some of the, like you were asking, if we had to put an insurance claim and put a value to it, and this one guy was like, oh, about $1.50, and then you followed it up with, is that Canadian or US money? And and then he started doing his whole like America bit and everything, and that was just hilarious. I like it because it gets like all of a sudden the entire audience perks up and is like, all right, you can almost watch them like physically lean in and go like, oh, this is excellent, Mr. Smithers. This is going to be good.
Nice. Well, hey guys, I know we have some more questions here on there, but we're going to have to move on because we want to have Nadine do some hypnosis for us. We also have a product spotlight to do real quick. That'll take about 2 minutes. This is how we pay the bills, or hope to one day. So I'm going to send this
after the product spotlight. We have one more question to ask her.
Okay, one more question. Hold on. Now remember, if you would like to win tonight's prize, it is this book right here. Your Life Sucks. If you're watching live, you are eligible. If you're not watching live, sorry, you're not eligible to win. Also, if you're on Amazon watching, you're not eligible just because of their terms of service. Now, I have an ask. Whether your life sucks or not, if you would go to the link that Sean is sharing, just buy the Kindle. It's on pre-order right now. It's $2.99. If you could do that, it would mean the world to me, because you know what's going to happen then? Then Amazon sees that and they go, wow, this must be something interesting. And they're going to show my book to more people. Now, when they show it to more people, that means I get rich and famous, and we get to start an actual real like TV show or something on, probably, if Brian has his way, it'll be on Fox TV. But no, we're going to go for something more legitimate. We'll probably be on Comedy Central or something. But so if you could do that, that would be so awesome. And also then on September 1st, just thumb through the book, speed read it, and then do a review. That'll help me so much. If you'd be kind enough to do that, really, really do appreciate it. I priced it super low so that you could do that. And now I have a couple of other things I want to talk to you about. Very quickly. Hold on. Where'd it go? Hold on. Speaking of awesome books, this is by my good friend, Grant Saunders, friend of the show, friend of Brian, Sean, and Nadine. Grant Saunders, world famous stage hypnotist, hypnotherapist. He's done a lot of good stuff. He's actually, you may not know this, he's actually a professional live streamer. I mean, he actually gets paid real money to do live streams. And he wrote this book, the Streamer's Hook, very short book. It's super helpful, especially if you're new to streaming or just looking to improve. It explains things so clearly. It's not complicated, so you won't need an expert to understand it. Grant shares his experiences and gives advice that it's just easy to follow. It focuses a lot on how to connect with your audience, which is super important. As you can see, sometimes on the show, sometimes we have a great guest that really connects with the audience. We get a lot of people tuning in and commenting and stuff. Talks about engaging with the audience, being unique, and being consistent. And that's what I have found too is, the more, we do the show, the Hypnosis Hero, we do it, every second and fourth Monday. I got it right, Sean. Every second and fourth Monday. We do it every second and fourth Monday. People get to expect that. They know when it's going to be on, so we get a lot of long-time watchers. So definitely pick up Grant Saunders' book. Super inexpensive. Ebook available. Grab it now. Another great book that you want to look at. Let me get my notes up. So this right here, Cashvertising by Drew Eric Whitman. Now, this was recommended to me by an entrepreneur years ago who's done really well for himself. And it's a really cool book if you're interested in marketing and advertising. Now, if you're a hypnotist and you just shook your head and said, oh, I'm not interested in advertising and marketing, what are you thinking? You're in advertising and marketing. You are marketing new ideas to your customers, your clients. You're also marketing those ideas to your stage hypnosis clients. if you want to actually make money doing this, be able to quit that day job, or be able to make more money, see more people, work with more people, you need to learn marketing and advertising. It breaks down how companies get people to buy stuff using psychology, really. And so the more that we learn about psychology, the better. So whether you're a hypnotist, an entrepreneur, selling T-shirts, widgets, whatever, this book will make it a lot easier. Keeps things interesting by using some humor, even real-world examples. So I highly recommend you pick up this book and then go learn more about marketing of all types. Okay. Bring the rest of the team back on. Unless you have an agent like Nadine, and then you don't have to worry about advertising anymore. Woohoo. But until then, yeah.
All right, so everybody, place your bets. Comments in the comment section. Is Nadine going? Is she going to be a friend, or is she going to be a frenemy?
Thank God you remembered, Brian. Thank God you remembered. All right.
It's like I printed out a list.
You're just doing that.
I don't know where he got that from.
I'm good, Sean. I'm good at what I do.
All right, place your bets. Friend or frenemy, everybody. What do you guys think? Let's let people guess. Place your bets. Is she a friend or is she a frenemy? Okay.
All right, Nadine. Friend or frenemy question. Do you like pineapple on pizza? Yes or no?
I'm Canadian. Like, is that even a fair question?
It depends on how you answer.
Canadian.
Don't hurt us.
It's all Hawaiian, but it's like a Canadian thing.
So does pineapple belong on pizza?
I mean, sometimes.
Oh,
You get a little sweet and savory in there. Like, sweet and savory.
That's bullshit.
You know what? Like,
I couldn't be more sad and disappointed. Look at her trying to blame all Canadians, too. We have a Canadian right here on the show with you that is anti-pineapple pizza.
Oh,
or at least he says so. I don't know.
Oh, she did like the American politician thing. It's like, well, it depends.
It depends.
Sometimes.
Well, it's like hockey. Yeah. It's like asking me, do I like hockey? Hockey's our national sport. Like, what am I going to say?
You say yes. Yes, you like hockey. Very, very much so.
Okay, that's exactly my point.
No excuses, Nadine. No excuses. You have just found yourself in the frenemy camp. We're so disappointed. Yep. Is in her corner of being a frenemy. Oh, so Carol Burgett's a frenemy also. Wow.
Oh, thou shalt not blasphemy in this.
Wow.
This show.
Oh, it looks like Tracy's on board with it too. I don't know.
Listen, when people are asked like, what 3 toppings do you want on pizza? Pineapple is never like in my top 3.
Oh.
I've never ordered pineapple on my pizza myself, but if somebody orders pizza, I'll like
pick it off and throw it in the garbage.
Well, we're Canadian.
I'll pick off the pepperoni and feed it to my dog. But I'm not gonna like.
I like the way she's backpedaling. She's doing the classic politician. Yeah.
Oh,
it's okay, Nadine. It's okay, Brian. Just breathe, buddy. Breathe. I know it's difficult. We had high expectations for her. We're obviously in the minority here. We seem to attract a lot of frenemies.
If we're in the minority, we need to talk to our DEI person who can help boost some of our.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. How can we attract more friends that do not like pineapple on pizza?
Oh man, that's. God,
do you guys like sardine on your pizza?
Oh God, no. Oh.
What?
No. Ooh.
Why would I put fishing bait on pizza?
I agree. I think it's disgusting.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
But somebody who likes sardines on their pizza is not. I'm not gonna like judge them for it. I'm gonna
try to find common ground. She's trying
to good source of omega-3s. What's pineapple? It's a great source of vitamin C. You're hating on vitamin C.
So is orange juice, but I'm not gonna.
Vitamin C. Like, Are you telling me not to consume fruit?
So, I'm telling you not to consume pineapple on pizza. You can have the pineapple by itself.
Exactly.
Judge somebody omega 3s, on their pizza pie. So
if I want omega-3, I'll take a fish oil supplement or eat salmon.
Yeah. So Nadine, we're all going to need some hypnosis now to calm us. Boy, a lot of good comments here. A lot of people on your side, Nadine.
Oh, et tu, Brute. Scott King says you can attract more friends by liking pineapple on pizza. Oh, wow. God.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm fruity, okay? I'm fruity in more ways than one.
Is there something in my back? I'm feeling a pain right between my shoulder blades. It's
Brian missed that
like
one.
A sharp object.
Bravo, Nadine. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Glad you
I like
got
that.
it.
That was good.
I understood. I got the reference.
All right. So Nadine, you are going to be, so everybody stay tuned because we're going to be doing the giveaway after the hypnosis that Nadine's going to do. And the giveaway is tonight. It's #Hypnosis Hero. You're going to win my book. I'm going to send it to you in the mail, autographed by myself and Brian Bay if he agrees. He charges a lot, but he might do it for no charge this time. Nadine, what kind of hypnosis? Are you going to do fun with hypnosis or a therapeutic type?
I think I'll keep it short and sweet and go where my heart is. My heart really is on the therapy side.
Okay.
That way people can walk away with a feeling. And yeah. So
hold on 1 second, everybody. It's Hypnosis Hero is one word or one. You can't separate the hero. You have to put #Hypnosis Hero all together. The other thing, we just need to remind everybody, those that are listening and not watching, we do have the disclaimer on the screen. But for those of you that are listening later, especially on Spotify, we're now on Spotify. If you're listening later, please do not listen to this portion of the show while you're moving around, operating heavy machinery, barbecuing, making pineapple pizza, those kind of things. You can just sit down, lie down, relax. Take it away, Nadine.
Okay. So everybody, let's all begin by taking a nice, deep, relaxing breath all the way in. Good. And as you exhale, I want you just to take a moment now with your eyes gently closed and send gratitude to the miracle, the muscle of your heart. And just take a moment now and observe the beating of your heart in your chest and how beautiful that is. From this moment forward, you have perfect circulation. And as your mind and body connect, take another deep, relaxing breath all the way in. And as you exhale, just allow your mind to wind down and just feel all the muscles in your body relaxing even more. Using your amazing imagination, imagine a beautiful, healing white light moving over your eyes. And as you feel this beautiful, healing white light, perhaps you can see it over your eyelids. But allow this feeling to move through your entire body, mind, and thought. Because you are all good, kind, caring, loving people. And the more you love and care for yourself, the more you have to love, care, and give to the people in your life. So if you need to shift. If you have an itch, scratch it. Just allow your body to get as comfortable as it possibly can right now. Good. And as you take another deep breath in, good. Just exhale, calm. Good. And now imagining in front of you the most perfect version of you, the person that you desire to be, because you are the person that you desire to be. So as you begin to imagine your most perfect self, first begin by imagining your perfect posture, the strength, the alignment in your spine. You have a strong, healthy core. Imagine your can-do attitude, the fact that you see goodness and beauty in everyone and everything, especially yourself. And as you imagine your most perfect self, notice your hair, your eyes, the way your eyes look when you smile. Notice your neck, shoulders, chest, stomach, hips, waist. Just notice how every organ in your body works and functions perfectly. Your immune system is perfectly balanced. You are strong, and you are the person you desire to be. And as you notice your most perfect you realize that what you are truly observing is your most authentic self. So just take a moment now and allow this feeling, allow this image to become more clear in your mind. Perhaps you can even hear the sound of your most confident voice. What does that sound like when you communicate with the world and your message is heard and received? And as you observe your most perfect you, just let this feeling, let this image, allow it to very gently roll over in your mind. Good. Taking another deep breath in. Just exhale, peace. You are the peace you wish to be in this world, to see in this world. And now imagine yourself standing there, face to face with the person that you desire to be. Eye to eye. And as you're observing your most perfect self, you notice that there is a wisdom deep within you. And allow yourself now to give yourself all the advice that you need in the here and now. Receive these messages from the deepest part of who you are. And once these messages are received, just give your head a little nod so your body can receive these messages too. And now you notice that your most perfect you, your most authentic self, is reaching out to give you a hug. And on the count of 3, you're going to give yourself a hug. You can do this in your mind, or you can even physically embrace yourself, because you are your body. There's nothing more connected to you. So allow your mind and body to truly connect. As I count 1, you are powerful. 2, you are ready. You are ready. And 3, just give yourself a hug, because you are the person you desire to be. And allow this integration to take place. Step into your perfect self. And from this moment forward, every time you think of yourself, you imagine the person that you desire to be. Every time you see yourself in the mirror, you see the person you desire to be. And every time you speak of yourself, you speak of yourself in the highest regards. The world is a better place because you are in it. So I want you now to think about all of your best attributes coming to the forefront. This is your authenticity. This is who you truly are. And you allow this person to be the person that everybody meets. And you remind the people in your life, the most important people to you, of your most authentic self, living your most authentic life. You are a good person. You are deserving. And with every step you take and every beat of every beat of your heart, these suggestions are becoming more and more powerful, more and more a permanent part of who you are. You are the most powerful person in your world, and you own it because that belongs to you. Taking another deep breath in. Good. And as you exhale, just exhale calm. Good. And soon when I count from 1 to 5, you allow your eyes to open, feeling absolutely wonderful in every single respect. Only opening your eyes at the count of 5 when you have made a firm decision to allow these suggestions to work for you. So make that firm decision in your mind now. I want you to see the word yes. Think the word yes. And most certainly nod your head yes. Let every single cell in your body experience yes. Good. As I count 1, feeling your fingers and toes starting to move again. 2, becoming more alert, more aware of the normal sounds in the room or your back and body up against the surface you're on. 3, all suggestions are more powerful. Yes. More meaningful and more profound. You are confident, you are motivated, and you are ready. 4, feeling your eyes very gently begin to open now. And 5, eyes wide open, feeling fully alert, feeling absolutely wonderful in every single respect.
That was great. What kind of so for those of you who are watching live or later, what was that like for you? Let us know. We'd love to know what that was, what that experience was like for you. Thank you. There was I really love that you're a lot of energy in there. Great.
Yeah, I think inflection is important. We don't always want to. I think monotone is kind of a old school way.
Yeah.
So
right.
I think inflection keeps it kind of. Yeah, it was just a little short one.
Yeah, it's a great sample for everybody. A couple of comments here. Tracy, the best pineapple pizza I had was in Hawaii. It was so fresh. Tracy, that triggered me because you know what? That's exactly what Bob Martin was trying to get me to do. Put me on the beach with the pineapple in one hand and the pizza in the other. Yeah.
Do we allow this kind of hate speech on our show, Jim?
Exactly. Hate speech. That's exactly what it is. Brian, yes, you'll have to charge $100.
No. If I notarize your signature, I can charge $10 according to the state of Washington.
10. Okay, 10. Yeah.
It authenticates your signature, which means I've checked your ID.
Ooh. That's good for provenance, right? I mean, so that'll be worth a lot more money at the auctions once I'm, expired. Nadine, we went over. Appreciate you sticking around. I hope we're not keeping you from something important. Let's see.
No, it's good. I can do a quick reframe on this pineapple thing because I feel like you're hating on pineapple way too much.
I feel like people are hating on us for.
Oh, look at the time, Joe.
Having our distinct taste.
You know what pineapple does? I will tell you what pineapple does.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, that was
technical difficulties.
That's why we call him the captain.
All right, Nadine, please.
I'm just gonna say it, guys, and everybody on this can agree. Pineapple makes you taste good. So, did you hear that? Yeah, that's right. Pineapple makes you taste good. So you can not eat pineapple. I will eat all the pineapple in the world. And
we're not. Hold on, wait. We're not saying we're not saying don't eat pineapple.
I will eat it on
just
my
not
pizza.
on pizza.
I will eat it on my peanut butter sandwich. I will put it in my water.
You are committed to tasting good.
I'm committed. That I'm just doing a bit of a reframe. So now every time you think about pineapple on pizza, there you go.
Well, if it crosses my path, I may have to reconsider. Yes.
God, I can see.
Your wife.
I can see somebody in our audience who watched this, and we're gonna do the. You're missing a piece of something, and then some lady in the back's gonna be like, "Check the jar of pineapple." And
Scott says, "Is an itch ever just an itch?" No, Scott, it is not, according to Bob Martin. Good reframe. Good reframe, Nadine. Appreciate you trying. Good. Really energizing, Tracy says. Beautiful. Thank you, Tina says. And now Carol loves you even more. Not sure if that's the pineapple reason or other reasons.
We're going to go with the hypnosis reason.
My favorite part was all my cells seeing yes. Danielle says that was great. Thank you, Becca. That's really what we love about the show. The hypnosis part is people just love that. Love the energy, she says. Scott's trying to win for like the 12th time in a row.
Grant says now every time I eat pineapple.
Grant.
The pineapple, you can't come back from that. Okay. Notify yourself.
Prison story there.
Boy, we get a lot of funny comments here from Scott King. If you're a notary, you should notify yourself that pineapple makes you taste good.
I'm not denying that fact.
Yes. See, here's the thing. People think that we're hating on pineapple. It's just the combination.
See, up until this point, nobody ever said that they would put pineapple on bread.
Yeah.
And she said she'll not only do that, but she'll do it with peanut butter.
Wow.
Which
boundary? She's really pushing the limits.
It must be a Quebec thing.
I don't know if you want that association, Grant. And Laura Wright says, "Too funny." Wow, you've definitely made people think, Nadine.
I mean that's why NLP is so powerful. So powerful. Was not expecting that from you, Nadine. Was not expecting maybe setting an anchor or maybe a circle of power or something like that. But no, I wasn't expecting that kind of a reframe. Yeah, okay. All right.
Make it like a dessert pizza, no sauce.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Tracy, I'll buy that.
Extra sauce on the bottom. You gotta be saucy. Come on.
I can hear Scott giggling from Texas right now.
Yeah, I'm giggling myself. Appropriated it was appropriate.
Always
the
extra
veg and pineapple. Wow. Well, you did go there, Laura. You did go there. All right. People want to win a prize. We're going to hope it goes to a friend and not a frenemy. Although, do we even have any friends on here? It's all frenemies. Wait. Susan is eating pineapple pizza right now. No pineapple. She does like pineapple and cheese sandwich. Wow. Freaks. Okay. Let's
you heard it from Grant. He says the show is well worth staying up for from.
He's off to the mini mart to grab some pineapple juice right now. So you can think about Jim.
Wait. We have been infiltrated, Jim. All of a sudden, like she is just she just formed a new religion. Like everybody's just like, oh, I'm converting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because it makes you taste good. Who doesn't want to taste good?
All right. Who indeed does not want to taste good? All right. All right. So last chance, #hypnosis hero. Again, if you're on Amazon, you cannot win. I've disconnected you, but anyway. Actually, we got disconnected from Amazon for suggestive content. It was even before the pineapple. It was even before the pineapple juice. I don't know what we said that upset them, but they're very.
Are we on like a 4-game winning streak with that now?
Exactly. Me and Grant got disconnected last week for same thing. We weren't doing anything on the news. I don't know. Anyway,
it might have been the orgasms on stage.
Could be. I don't know. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. Anyway, we don't care. We have enough people watching over here. Get ready. Here it comes, everybody. Drum roll, please, Sean, if you can do it. too long. All right, here we go. Hypnosis Hero for the book. Who's going to win it? Tracy, you have just won the future best-selling book, Your Life Sucks. I happen to know Tracy. I know his life doesn't suck, but I'm sure he's got a friend he can give it to, or with mine and Brian's signatures in it. I mean, we're talking tons of money on eBay. And then when you see Sean performing Hypnosis Summit, you can ask him to sign it as well. This is one of
we got. Scott says, "Trust the science."
Trust the science. Scott, I'm going to default to what something you probably said back then.
Yes.
I'm going to do my own research.
Oh, please no.
You're gonna do your own research and put pineapple on your pizza?
No, what I mean is I'm going to ask.
No, jazz hands.
Just don't. Sorry.
All right, better just leave it there. Nadine, what a fun episode! Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Well, you really touched a lot of people in more ways than one.
And YouTube just notified us that we are demonetized.
All right, thanks a lot, Nadine. So these fine folks, where are you doing anything online that they might be able to see you on, since they're not on cruise ships or in colleges? Just to see, do you have some clips on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, go on TikTok, YouTube, probably. So my Instagram got hacked, and I went from like almost 15K followers to now starting from scratch. So Instagram is, please follow me to support me, but it's not a good place to see my content right now. Yeah. Probably TikTok and YouTube are the best if you want to watch some fun hypnosis stuff. Go on, probably TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Nadine Manuel at IG?
IG is Nadine _ hypnosis, and then everything else is Nadine Manuel, NADENMANUEL, for pretty much anything else. If you put thank you.
Awesome. Great seeing you, Nadine. Sean, Brian, always good to see you. And hey, everybody, thank you so much for. Oh, wow. Laura is a feisty one. Scott, she doesn't even eat pineapple, but she's yummy. All right. We'll leave it with that. Take care, everybody. Be well. Be awesome.
Stay free, everybody.
Good night, everybody.